when her 13-year-old daughter, Precious Sim, was kidnapped from her high school in northern Nigeria in 2021, Esther Joseph says she went almost mad with anguish. She says her daughter still suffers from panic attacks.
Sometimes she sleeps, she will come hold me.
Sometimes she jerks up in her sleep and runs to hold me. She is scared of the light bulb. The fear seems to be reducing a little, but she gets agitated at any loud sound. If I shout at her, she gets scared, and it is because of the experience in the bush, like how they were shooting or treating them. She is still scared.
They shoot, how did they do? So the fear is still there.
With Nigeria's economy and poverty levels worsening, abductions have become almost a daily occurrence in the country. They were first carried out by jihadist group Boko Haram a decade ago. But the tactic has since been adopted by criminal gangs without ideological affiliation, seeking ransom payments. And authorities seem unable to stop them. On March 7th, 286 students and school staff were kidnapped by gunmen in Kuriga, a town in Kaduna State. Local authorities told Reuters on Wednesday that they had demanded a total ransom of 1 billion naira, or just over $620,000, for their release. On March 11, around 60 people were abducted in Buda, in the same state, residents said. These kidnappings are tearing families and communities apart who have to pool their savings to pay the ransoms. Parents are often forced to sell their most prized possessions, like land, cattle and grain, to secure their children's release. Precious returned to school after her mother sold her meager possessions and got help from family and church members to pay her ransom. But many other victims of kidnapping drop out after being released out of fear they might be abducted again. UNICEF estimates that at least 10.5 million children are out of school in Nigeria, the highest number in the world. Kidnappings are a major driver of withdrawal of children from schools, according to Isa Sanusi, Amnesty International's director in Nigeria.
Going to school now is now suicidal in many parts of rural northern Nigeria, and many teachers are fleeing their posts, their duty posts in local areas and rural areas because if they go back, they are afraid that they might be abducted and their students might be abducted.
In remote rural areas, unfenced schools are an easy target. Sanusi said it was difficult to get accurate figures for school kidnappings. But according to Amnesty International, nearly 750 people have been kidnapped in the first 2 weeks of March alone. Successive Nigerian governments have deployed soldiers and bombed suspect hideouts used by armed groups, but that has not stopped the kidnappings. The country's information minister said on Wednesday that the government's position is that security forces should secure the hostages' release without paying for ransom. Since 2022, paying to free hostages is a crime in Nigeria and carries a jail sentence of at least 15 years.
A sect leader and self-styled prophet appeared in a Zimbabwe court on Thursday, charged with child abuse after police raided his farm and rescued 251 children. Police said the children, quote, were subjected to abuse as cheap labor, doing manual work in the name of being taught life skills. Police found the children on the farm were not attending school, and most did not have birth certificates. They also found 16 graves, including 7 for infants, all of which were unregistered, police said. 56-year-old Ishmael Chogoronge was arrested this week, along with 7 of his church members following a raid on their farm about 18 miles west of the capital, Harare. State media outlet H Metro said that Chogoronge and his accomplices had been remanded in custody for a bail ruling and are facing 2 counts of violating the Burial and Cremation Act and the Children's Act. No pleas were taken. One of the church leaders told H Metro they do not seek out medical treatment. If anyone here falls ill, we leave their healing to God because he has his own ways and means to heal the sick, he said. Video from the raid showed dozens of women and children dressed in white, sitting under a tree and singing. Some were later taken away in buses, escorted by police. Zimbabwe is a majority Christian country where apostolic sects are common. Chogarange was identified by police as a leader in the so-called White Garment Church. Its followers have previously been accused of abuse of women and children and are known for practicing child marriages.